Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
Always beautiful to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you
You
doing?
bet. Thank you for being here today.
Well, we have some good stuff up our sleeve today. I am super excited to share this knowledge. I think that as a whole, humanity is grossly undereducated about how to access their subconscious mind and create the real lasting change that people want in their world, in their lives. Today, we're going to change that a little bit. How does that sound to you?
Great.
We have two amazing techniques that we are going to lay out, as well as something very special for folks who want to learn more about this at the end that we're going to give them. In the beginning, I think we should start out with some background on yourself and then some fundamental knowledge just about the subconscious mind and why someone might want access to it. And of course, why hypnotherapy is an amazing tool to get the job done.
Sounds great.
Let's give people a little bit of background. So you yourself have been in the hypnosis industry for over 5 decades. You have been now teaching the highest accreditation for hypnosis and hypnotherapy in the United States. It's a National Guild of Hypnotists accreditation. You've been teaching this course for 15 years.
Yeah.
You are probably one of the best people that I could have talked to break down the power of the subconscious mind, to introduce the brilliant field of hypnotherapy, and to teach us all 2 techniques that we can start using today to create meaningful change in our lives. Where I want to start, though, is with this business that you've built, because it's not just about sharing knowledge and just about giving people a stamp and a certification, although they do get that and it's extremely valuable. But you are the founder of Northwest Hypnosis Institute, and you've taken a different approach than a lot of the other hypnosis education schools. They tend to do a lot of pre-recorded things, a lot of self-study, and you've opted instead to go for totally live, experiential classes. You told me that it's not just about being able to understand the concepts and regurgitate them at the end. You wanted to make something that was full of insights and aha moments. That was a real rich experience for your students. Something that people can't wait to get to every time, and at the end, they're sad that it's ending. So can you share a little bit about what you have created and why people love this course and stay in it?
Well, it's a live course, and people stay in that course because they really like the experiences, and they get personal transformations that happen during the course that they simply can't get by watching a video. And another thing that they really like is they get to understand their minds and the inner workings of their thoughts, and they get to experience real changes in their lives during the classes. Can't get that if you're just watching a video. People just love that, and they love discovering firsthand how their mind works and how to harness that power for themselves and for their friends and their families and eventually for their clients. And they'll come up and they'll say to me, you know, something's changed in me. I'm overcoming stuff I couldn't even understand before. It's really fun for me to hear them tell me that, because they're not just learning theoretical concepts, they're getting the real skills, and those skills they can use right away in their day-to-day lives to help their friends and their families. It's just so great when they have those amazing breakthroughs and they change those limiting beliefs they have, or mental blocks, or long-standing habits. And with that live format, people form connections, students become friends, and each week they look forward to coming back, not just for the lessons, but also for the friendships, the chance to see the people that they're working with. It's just more than learning. It's just that amazing transformation in their lives. And they do that, you know, kind of like one step at a time in the most effortless, enjoyable way. That's a real holistic experience. That's what I want for them.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I've talked to your students and I've sat in on the classes and I can vouch for it. I see the glow sometimes that these students have towards the end of the class, and they feel like they're just holding this little nugget of gold because now they've got a slice of real empowerment. Something that's interesting is I've heard it even described as an adventure of the mind. And it always cracks me up at first because, you know, it is quite a prestigious course. When you go through it, it's not something that's just kind of a lighthearted thing. It's a world-class, widely respected certification. It's 100 hours, and yet these students come out and they say, whoa, that was such an adventure. How can a 100-hour world-class level certification course be an adventure of the mind? How did you do that?
Well, I designed it to be an adventure of the mind. And that's exactly what makes it so special. That live interaction like that and all those hands-on experiences, that keeps them engaged, that keeps them excited. And every week, they discover more and more things they didn't even know existed. Every session for them it's like solving a mystery, because sometimes it's unlocking the power of their subconscious, sometimes it's mastering techniques like conversational hypnosis or neurolinguistic programming, and the students don't learn just how to do it. They get the knowledge and the experiences that enable to understand why and how it works. And while they do that, they're developing these amazingly effective skills that they can use to help themselves and their friends eventually become really super hypnotherapists. And it's because I teach that course in a special way to help keep those students fully engaged the whole time. They don't have to trudge through a whole bunch of boring material or memorize a bunch of facts like I did when I took hypnosis courses. I want that course to be really entertaining. I want every day to be kind of an exciting exploration of how their minds work. So I make it dynamic, I make it fun. And each new session, they get to discover something surprising about the way people think and how they behave and how to change them.
Yeah, it's truly wonderful. I so respect the work that you're up to, and it's one of the reasons why I love supporting this, and I've been so excited to come on board and help spread this knowledge and spread the mission of Northwest Hypnosis Institute. Let's get down to the meat of this. I mean, it is clear that the subconscious mind is running much of our body. People don't argue that they are not consciously digesting their food or regenerating their liver. That stuff we all accept. Where it gets really interesting for me is when we consider that our habits are subconscious, our moods are subconscious, and even our emotional reactions, our emotional approaches towards a situation or a day, that is also subconscious. I want to ask you this. What is your understanding, after working in this field for so long, about how much of an impact the subconscious mind actually has on our daily lives?
It just plays a crucial role in people's lives because it governs 90 to 95% of everything we do and think, all of our daily actions and behaviors, without us even being aware of it. Everything we've ever experienced, all our memories, everything's in the subconscious mind. And it acts almost like a computer. It's just, you program it and it has a response. It's like an automatic system that just manages everything from our habits to our reactions and emotions, our beliefs, everything. It's how that subconscious mind stores all those past experiences and conditioning and learned behaviors and that sort of thing that allows us to function so efficiently without having to have to process or think about stuff. If I pick up a telephone, I don't have to think how to use it. I just look at it and I access my memories and I can automatically use it. So it's really the powerhouse that dictates most of everything we do.
Yeah. And oftentimes it's an amazing friend to have, right? It's like,
oh, it is.
We couldn't imagine not having all of these pre-understandings about our reality, or else we would have to go back to day one all the time. So it's such an ally, right?
Right.
Except sometimes. And this is where hypnotherapy becomes really interesting, is it's like most of your patterns that you have are going to serve you, have already served you, and will continue to serve you for the rest of your life. But there's a small percentage of them that might have been really good at one point and are no longer useful, or just were programmed by somebody who wasn't quite aware what they were doing, or they had a program running from their parents or their culture. And we have these unhelpful things that could hold us back, limiting beliefs about ourselves, that we can't do something or that we're not good enough, or limiting beliefs about how we relate to others, that oh, I'm not that kind of person, or if we have ideas that people who struggle with social anxiety, or they have these different limitations, these kinds of things are something that many people would like to, and I myself have several of them, want to be able to change, but I can't do it on the conscious level. Is that right?
That's right.
So
You
we
can't.
have to have a tool to go deeper.
That's right. And hypnotherapy is that tool. And the reason it's so successful at reprogramming the subconscious mind is because it's one of the few therapies that actually works by accessing the subconscious mind directly. When you're in the waking state, therapies that kind of engage just the conscious mind just require a lot of effort to gradually shift long-standing thought patterns or behaviors. It can take months or years. But in the hypnotic state, the conscious mind doesn't interfere with that. It relaxes, and it allows us to bypass the normal mental resistance, and that subconscious mind becomes more open and receptive to positive suggestions and new ideas and change. When you get into that state, it enables therapists to reprogram old patterns like fears or limiting beliefs. And with repeated sessions, you can ingrain all kinds of new behaviors into your subconscious mind.
I've fallen in love with hypnotherapy for a few different reasons, but obviously the speed is amazing. You can reprogram things sometimes in as little as one 15 or 20 minute session.
You can.
And then the second thing is that it goes on this deep level, so the change is lasting. It's not just this fleeting thing that, that was nice for a week. No, these things stick. I mean, they get ingrained in there, and people, they continue the rest of their lives just with that newfound sense of self, or this new way that they can approach their reality. They can live without limitations they had before, without phobias they had before, without negative thoughts about themselves or old traumatic memories dominating. I mean, the amount of different things that you can get in there and tool around with, it's really phenomenal. It's left a lasting impression on me, and it must have on you too, or else you wouldn't keep doing this work.
Sure.
So we kind of laid down the foundation, but let's make it even more concrete for people. There are several different types of reprogramming, and 3 types that you focus on in your course and that you've come to recognize are like the main, very effective reprogramming methods: conversational hypnosis, trance hypnosis, and NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming.
Right.
Can we go through these one by one real quick, and you just give us kind of a basic idea about what they are and a little bit how they work?
Sure. Trance hypnosis is that classic method of hypnosis. Most people are familiar with trance hypnosis. They see that on movies, TV, stuff like that. It's a direct approach, and it guides people into a hypnotic state. And we create the conditions in which they can go into a trance hypnosis. We use inductions, we use deepeners, suggestions, things like that. And trance hypnosis is really best for lasting changes or ingrained habits or traumas or something like that. Now, we also include conversational hypnosis. Now, conversation hypnosis works indirectly. It just influences your subconscious mind during a normal conversation. It's just perfectly suited for influencing mind shifts in everyday settings, like at lunch or at work or just talking to somebody. And when that happens, a person might not even realize they're being hypnotized, because the hypnotist uses covert language techniques like analogical language or something like that to influence their patterns. And we don't even need a formal induction to do that. Now, NLP is different. NLP doesn't require a trance. NLP uses conscious techniques, and it reframes thoughts. It reframes his experience. It doesn't even require deep relaxation, because it uses language patterns and mental exercises to change how somebody interprets emotions and beliefs and behaviors. and it focuses on the relationship between thoughts. That's why they call it neural, and language, which is linguistic, and patterns of behavior, which is programming. And we have all three of them, the trance hypnosis, the conversational hypnosis, and the NLP together in our program because it makes it so much more effective. Each one of those things targets different aspects of the mind and allows for a more versatile, kind of a comprehensive approach. Trance hypnosis is best when it comes to making deep changes by directly accessing the subconscious mind. So we can offer that tool for lasting transformation that other methods can't achieve on their own. Conversational hypnosis complements trance hypnosis because it offers a way to influence change more easily and naturally during everyday conversation or interactions. That really helps people integrate behaviors into their daily life, especially if they have some kind of a conscious resistance to it. NLP gives us a conscious tool for real-time change because it focuses on how people process experiences using their language and their behaviors. And it's so useful to empower clients to make immediate adjustments in how they think and respond. And they don't even have to enter hypnosis to do that. So if you combine the NLP and the trance and the conversational hypnosis, we just give those clients a well-rounded approach. It's the best approach because that personal transformation can happen, and it just wouldn't be nearly as powerful if you just used one at a time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, most hypnosis courses don't even include NLP, right? That's typically
right.
a separate training.
That's right.
So I would actually like to now give people a taste of how this works and do a little experiential work. I want to teach the first technique of our training, which is actually from NLP, and it's got a fancy name, but don't be intimidated, y'all. It's called submodality therapy. So before we actually get into the steps of how to do this, can you give us a brief overview of what submodality therapy is and just the kind of general overview of why this is something very cool to know about how your mind works and frankly should be part of every single education of every child in the US. I mean,
Yeah.
this stuff gets me so jazzed, Bruce, but yeah, could you take it away and give us a little explanation?
Sure. People have modalities, and in NLP, that means your senses. It's your ability to see or hear or smell, taste or feel things. And how you do that, like if you use vision and you see red color, or you see a movement, or you see a shape, in NLP, that's called a modality. So that's all that means. The way that submodality works is everything that you ever experienced, you have represented with these different modalities. You have them represented by vision, sight, sound, taste, feelings, even though you ordinarily wouldn't think of it that way. And what happens is, if you want to change something, like let's just pick something out. How about an unpleasant physical sensation, for instance? If you wanted to change that, you can find the modality that's associated with that, or the submodality that's associated with that. And if you change that modality or that submodality associated with that symptom, it will actually affect the symptom itself because of the mind-body connection.
Yeah, it is amazing. This is one of those things that when you first taught me about this, I just couldn't stop thinking, how has it been so much of my life lived without knowing something like this? That my brain is so powerful. All of our minds are so powerful that you can do something like get in contact with a pain in your body, identify what color it is, and then identify what color it would be if it felt great, and simply use your mind and think about changing it to that color. And voila, after a few moments of time, either the pain goes away or it feels significantly better.
Yes.
But before we get into the step-by-step of this, let's just expand it out because it's actually quite a versatile skill. You could use it for unhelpful memories or for feelings like feelings of anxiety.
Yes.
Can you explain a little more about how diverse this tool is?
Oh, yeah. You could use this for an unpleasant thought. You could use it for a memory. You could even use it for limiting belief. And the thing that's so fascinating about this is that if you change just an aspect of it, it affects the whole thing. So you could have a memory that frightens you. And if you were going to use, you could use an auditory submodality. You could use a feeling submodality. You could use a visual submodality. If you were, say, having this memory that frightened you or this thought that frightened you, and you wanted to use an auditory one, you could say, what's the volume of it? How loud is this thought? And people will say, oh, it's really loud. I can't get it out of my head. It's just overpowering. It's really scaring me. And so what we'll do is, if it felt okay and you felt fine and you felt confident and calm and relaxed and in control, how loud would it be? How loud would that thought be? Well, it wouldn't have any sound at all. Or it might be just a little tiny sound. And so what we do is we have them change the volume of the sound in their mind. So they think of that memory and they turn the volume down and down and down, down, till it just appears altogether. Then I ask them, all right, let's gauge the effect of that thought on that scale. And they'll say, well, it doesn't have one. It's gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely amazing, because that person may not have been able to get rid of that thought, sometimes for years. And they're just amazed.
Yes, I find it to be so empowering. It's like having a new skill that you can now interact with your mind, interact with your experience of life, and you do it in this, it's kind of a creative way that you're doing it with these modalities, with a color or a feeling or a sound, and yet the effect is very fast and very powerful. So let's give people a step-by-step. We are going to send out a email that will have this explanation, so people don't have to write this down. They'll get it in their inbox in the next couple days. But if they wanted to go and use it, first step is they identify something that
they want to change. Right? Yeah, something they want to change. And like our example was a physical symptom.
Okay, so I have a sore knee.
That's an unpleasant thing. I want to change that.
Okay.
So then we want them to get in touch with the feeling that's associated with that. Because when you think a thought, your body responds and you have a feeling associated with that thought.
So that's step 2. Find the discomfort, find the feeling is step 2.
That's right. Then we want to calibrate the experience of the unpleasant symptom or the unpleasant thought or the belief or whatever it is on a scale of 0 to 10.
Okay.
So at least they have something to start with and they can see how they've changed later.
Great. So I say my pain is an 8.
Yes. And then we decide on what kind of a submodality we would like to work with. Would it be color? Would it be shape? Would it be weight? Would it be location? Whatever it is. Would it be visual, auditory, or kinesthetic?
Okay. So say, let's use an auditory one to make this interesting. So say the pain in my knee, it feels like 1,000 tiny ants screaming. That's what it sounds like to me. There's just tiny screaming.
All right. Perfect. Then what we would want to do is, if it changed the way you wanted to change, what would the sound be?
Okay, so the next step is to identify how would it feel if it was good.
Yes.
How would it feel in your ideal way?
That's right.
And so I could say like a choir of angels.
That's perfect. Yes. And then what you want to do is you want to just have them experience it with the unpleasant thought or the unpleasant representation, and then change the unpleasant one to a pleasant one.
And so I would just imagine, I would connect with my little screaming ants, and I would imagine them slowly turning into an angelic choir. And as I imagine that, my pain will change.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice. Okay. So again, we are going to follow this up with a written out explanation. And so folks know, this is an amazing tool to start to learn about, because it really opens so many doors to how your mind works and how you can get in on this lower level, and not only with the mind-body connection, but you can also cause immediate transformation in your own life on all these different things. Like you said, turning down the volume of an unpleasant memory, changing the feeling of how you feel in a certain situation, erasing certain physical pains or making them go from a 9 all the way down to a 1. I mean, I've heard some amazing stories from your class and also just used it on my own. And this one is really one of my favorites, which is why I'm glad to be able to present it today.
And it's so easy to do.
It is. Okay, let's move on, because there's a few cool things I still want to get to today, and I don't want to keep people forever, but there's so much excitement in this field, and I feel people are just vastly undereducated. What I would like to address now is that, some people associate hypnosis with stage hypnosis, like somebody clucking like a chicken across the stage, or they think people go into a deep trance and they don't remember anything. Can you just say a few words about some of the misconceptions people have with hypnosis, and give us some clarity so that we can understand really what it is and work with a good definition?
Oh, okay. There's a lot of misconceptions about hypnotism, and that happens from the movies, the TV, that sort of stuff. And probably the number one is mind control. People are really worried that they're going to be under the control of the hypnotist. But that's just not true, because there is something called a hidden observer, in which part of you is aware of what's going on, and you will not do anything that you ordinarily wouldn't do in a waking state. So the hypnosis can't make you go rob a bank or commit a crime or do something like that. Unless you would ordinarily do that, you won't do that in hypnosis. It's not mind control, because people are fully in control and they can reject any suggestion anytime.
Okay.
Another one that happens from the movies is people feel like they're going to get stuck in hypnosis. You can't get stuck in hypnosis because it's a natural state. People are in and out of hypnosis all day long. When they get when they're watching a movie, when they drive their car and can't remember they went a couple blocks or whatever it is. In order to stay in hypnosis, the hypnotist has to interact with the person, because if they don't do that, the person will either go to sleep, they'll continue on and go to sleep, or else they'll wake up. But they don't stay in hypnosis.
Good. Also relieving to hear.
People think you're asleep during hypnosis. Well, gosh, hypnosis isn't a sleep brain wave. You have your awake brain wave, a beta brain wave. You go into your hypnosis brain wave, so it's your alpha brain waves and your theta brain waves. You get into delta, you're sleeping. So obviously, hypnosis isn't sleep. You're not going to reveal secrets. That's another big one. People can lie in hypnosis just as easily as not. And so hypnosis doesn't force people to reveal secrets. You get to control over everything you're saying. And another one that's a little bit surprising is it works like magic. Hypnosis isn't a quick fix for things. I have people come in and they'll say, I had that accident with the table saw and I lost a couple fingers. I'd like you to hypnotize me and grow the fingers back. Well, it isn't magic, but it can certainly make amazing changes in your mind.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, you mentioned the brain waves, and I'd like to break it down a little bit. What is happening then when you're doing a trance hypnosis, and what do these brain waves have to do with it? Could you give us a brief explanation?
Well, yeah, I could. The first thing to realize is that hypnosis is a natural state. It isn't something that's unusual. Every night when you go to sleep, you go through a hypnagogic process where you go from your awake brain wave into your relaxation, your meditation brain waves, your hypnosis brain waves, your alpha brain waves, and your theta brain waves, and then you go into your delta brain waves. All that means is you have electrical activity in your brain, and as you go to these different levels, your actual electrical activity slows down. Your delta brain wave, your electrical activity is much slower than in your beta. I mean, this happens during daydreaming or getting lost in a book or driving and not remember you went a couple blocks or something.
Yeah, also
So,
meditation.
yeah, all hypnotists do is they create these conditions in which you can move from your awake state into your hypnosis state because your beta brain waves are your alert thinking. Your slower alpha waves are just found in relaxation states or meditation states or hypnosis states. The theta range is slower yet, and that's a deep state of relaxation. And that's where you can get into some really great abilities to affect change by heightened suggestibility.
Would you describe it like, basically you set it up in order to calm down the conscious mind, get it kind of out of the way, and then once the conscious mind is no longer protesting or so active or trying to always have an opinion on things, then you can actually be at a level of the mind where you can have real transformation, lasting change, and can actually have a real effect.
Oh yeah, because that critical conscious mind is less active. It just gets out of the way because in conventional therapy, a lot of times you can't get past that mental resistance. But in hypnosis, that critical factor goes into abeyance and you can bypass all that mental resistance. And that really helps you make the changes.
Is that also why you think it is so effective for lasting change when you compare it to other approaches?
Oh yeah, for sure. The big thing is that traditional approaches primarily work with your conscious mind. But hypnosis bypasses that critical factor, and that's what gives it the edge. That's what really helps it, because the natural defenses of the conscious mind a lot of times resist change. But the hypnosis state creates that pathway to the subconscious mind, making it possible to reprogram those limiting beliefs and those patterns. And we can use it with positive suggestions. We can break bad habits. We can overcome fears. It just makes profound changes. It's quicker. It's long lasting compared to other methods that only use the conscious mind. And that combination of bypassing that resistance and focusing attention and reprogramming just makes it one of the most powerful methods you can use for personal transformation.
Yes. So that actually brings me into technique number 2, which is the pre-sleep training hypnosis. You just mentioned that every night before we go to bed, we're already going through these slower down brainwave patterns. We go through this process every night before we go to bed. And you actually are going to now teach us a way that we can use that slowing down of the mind combined with a little bit of our own self-hypnosis. And through that, we can start to create simple and effective changes in our own life. Is that true?
That is exactly right.
Give us an overview. What is this technique called and what is this about?
It's called changing limiting beliefs with pre-sleep self-hypnosis. People have things that they would like to change. And what we wanted to first discover is what's the limiting beliefs associated with the things they want to change. Well, it's so easy because the question to ask is, the first one is, what belief do you have that prevents you from changing? So easy. All you have to do is go, what's the opposite of that?
Okay, so first, some people identify a limiting belief that they feel is holding them back in their lives.
That's right.
Okay, let's say it's, I don't feel good.
How about I'm not good enough?
Oh, we had the same one. Okay, so I'm not good enough, and I would like to feel good enough, right?
Yes. How many people say that?
Yes.
They come into the office. I'm not good enough to do this, or have that, or be this, or be that. What's the opposite of I'm not good enough?
Yeah, I am already as good as I need to be, or I am good enough.
I am good enough.
I'm into it. So now I want to program it into my mind.
Yes.
So I found the negative belief, or the limiting belief. I found the opposite. And so now what?
The best way to put a suggestion into the human mind is in certain brainwave activities, certain frequencies. We already know that alpha and theta are just perfect for putting a suggestion into your brain that's going to last, into your subconscious that's going to last. I don't know how to hypnotize myself. Oh, yes, you do. You do that every night when you go to sleep. So why not use the period of pre-sleep, just when you go to bed, to repeat a suggestion? So all we have to do is find the limiting belief, find the opposite, make a special little kind of positive action suggestion with it, and when they go to bed at night, all they have to do is repeat that 10 or 20 times and just go to sleep and visualize it and experience it. And if they do that for 7 days, they're going to see some amazing changes.
Okay, so you take your negative belief, you find the opposite of it, and this is the belief you want to program into your mind. In our example, I am good enough. Then, as you're falling asleep at the end of your day, you count 20 times. You told me even you could just use your hands, use your fingers, right?
Yeah, 10 to 20 times. You can count on it.
I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. You go all the way through the 20 times, and then you just fall asleep.
That's it.
And you do that for 7 days in a row.
That's right. And
then
watch what happens.
You can already start reprogramming your own mind.
Yes, and imagine if you did it for a month.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I would suggest everybody watching this to give this a try it out in your own life, and put it to the test. Go ahead and think about something you want to transform. If that's an idea about yourself, or that's an approach that you have towards the world, or it's a block that you're facing or something, figure out what the limiting belief is, find the positive, the opposite of it, and then put it to the test. 7 days in a row, 10 to 20 times repeated before bed, and yeah, give us an email about how that went for you. I'm excited to hear about it. I have heard, and I want to know your opinion on this, that hypnosis has actually been shown to be effective for over 500 different ailments and issues that people are dealing with, and with no side effects. Is that true?
That's right. Absolutely. You can use it for any kind of belief. You can use it for any kind of automatic response. You can use it to change a memory with it. You can change almost anything in your mind using hypnosis or self-hypnosis.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, just to give some people some context, for many years, you made more than $100,000 per year just giving part-time hypnosis sessions, right?
That's right.
What would people come to you for?
Oh, the number one thing that people come to hypnotists for is weight loss. They also come in for stopping smoking. It's absolutely remarkable for stopping smoking. In one session, you can get somebody to absolutely stop smoking. And wow, it is life-changing in a lot of times. A lot of times people will come in and say, I can't get that operation unless I stop smoking, but I haven't been able to stop smoking. They won't be smoking when they leave my office, I can tell you that.
Yeah, nice.
And it's perfect for any kind of stress or anxiety, or if you just want to be able to change something. It's wonderful. I had somebody come in just this week that hasn't been able to stop biting their nails since they were children, and they're 81 years old. And they stopped.
Wow.
Interesting enough, they just sent me a case of pistachios.
As a thank you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm going to do with a case of pistachios, but they were pretty happy. The guy was born in Egypt, and he likes pistachios.
Well, when you're not getting paid in pistachios, how much money do you charge for these sessions?
Oh, $150 is average. That's just average. Hypnotists always make that.
Wow. It's quite high.
Well, not for hypnosis. Because imagine if you're going to do standard therapy, it's going to take you unlimited sessions. Oh my gosh. It could take 600 sessions to do therapy sometimes.
Yeah.
But hypnosis, the average is 1 to 3.
And so when somebody takes your course and they graduate, are they already in a place where they can start offering sessions to the public?
Yes, and a lot of people will offer sessions before they even graduate. They can't believe it.
Yeah. Great. That's so awesome. And so, yeah, to be clear, you train people in the highest hypnosis certification available in the United States. It's a National Guild of Hypnotists certification. This is a group recognized by the US Senate and is the most reputable certification in this field. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your most successful students. I mean, are they therapists using this? Are they starting their own hypnosis practices? Do they go and offer, trainings to CEOs? What do people use this for?
Well, one of the most common things to do is to use it to help them with the present profession they're in. A lot of psychotherapists use hypnotism and they've never used it before, but they just fall in love with it because they can affect change so quickly. They can do processes where they don't even have to know what caused the condition or what keeps it going or anything else, because a person's subconscious mind knows exactly what started something, what keeps it going, what it needs to fix it. So for them to be able to treat something like that without having to do a regression therapy or go back and find out the initial sensitizing event is life-changing. It's just amazing for people. The other thing is people use it in life coaching. They use it for massage therapists, just love it. They can fix the underlying causes of the reason people are coming to help them relax and so forth. They can actually fix that. And I have students that have taken it that were really down on their luck, and they took the course, and now they're making six figures online, doing financial coaching, that sort of thing. And it's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just got this huge, wide array of things that it can be applicable for. And basically, my understanding is that almost any profession that you're in, hypnosis is going to make you get better results for your clients. And then on top of that, you can actually go from knowing nothing about hypnosis and having zero training or experience to offering sessions and charging $150 for those sessions just from taking your course. Is that true?
You can. Yep, because this is the National Guild of Hypnotists Training and Certification course, and it's for people that are beginning in hypnosis. They don't have to have any special knowledge. They don't have to have any special degrees. They don't have to have any special training to be able to do that. And it's such a prestigious certification that it's recognized in over 93 countries in the world. And yeah, it's quite amazing. But they can take that training, and the normal thing for a person to do when they take a hypnosis course is to get done with the hypnosis course and look for another course to take because they're not confident enough to be able to go out and actually do the hypnosis. That's not us. We give them everything they need to be able to be a complete hypnotist and actually affect changes in people in all kinds of things.
So you're telling me just 14 days of your specialized live training, you take people from knowing nothing about hypnosis and hypnotherapy all the way to being able to give sessions to start a side business or even a new full-time career, fully certified, walking out the door ready to roll.
That's right. They'll have everything they need, and best of all, they'll have the real knowledge and skills and experience from hands-on learning. They're actually doing it. That's what makes them good. They're not just learning about it. They're actually ingraining all this stuff into their abilities and their knowledge.
And I heard you can even do it remotely now. Have you?
Oh my gosh!
As well?
Yes, for many decades, I had 3 offices, and I worked only with hypnosis people in person. And then the pandemic happened, and everything changed, and now a great amount of hypnosis is being done online. This is an amazing advantage for people starting out in hypnosis, because when I started out, you had to get an office, you had to get insurance, you had to do utilities. You had to pay first and last month lease. You had to do all this stuff. Nowadays, you can work right from home on your computer and do the hypnosis sessions remotely. So that just cuts down on all the startup costs and everything else. You don't need to do that. I actually have graduates that are bedridden people, and they actually are doing 2 or 3 hours in the morning, and they're able to make all this extra money that they couldn't possibly do if they had to go and out at somewhere and work at a job someplace.
Yeah, also good for stay-at-home moms or people who need to be close to their house for some reason, if they're maybe taking care of a loved one, people who are on the road. Didn't you tell me that you have a student who is a musician, and when he has downtime, he does hypnotherapy just from his hotel room?
He does. Yep, he does. That's right.
Yeah. He said he made back his tuition within like a couple months of graduating the course. And he's been in the green, and he'll have that now forever.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, amazing. Well, since we're on it, let's talk about pricing. A master's degree is anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000. Getting $150 per hour is equitable or better than a lot of professions that you even have a master's degree in, without having to spend that time and money. And yet, of course, it's not for free. But one thing that I love about your course and the way that you have set up your business is that you are offering a better quality course, totally live, for a fraction of the price of most of the competitors. Those competitors charge between $7,000 and $10,000 for a full hypnosis education, which usually, as you mentioned, doesn't include anything on NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming. Right. And yet you've taken a totally different direction. Instead of charging $10,000, which is easily what this course is worth, you decided that you wanted to come from kind of a standpoint of passion for this modality and kind of legacy as you're coming later in your career, of wanting to just spread this knowledge and empowerment around the world. And you've kind of come up with this sweet spot of, how do I give the best quality education at the lowest possible price? And you even have payment plans to boot to make it so that cost really just isn't an inhibitor if somebody wants to learn this. You currently have the course priced at $24.95, but I heard that you even have a special offer for this round. Is that right?
That's right. I'm really excited for this round of classes. What I'm really choosing to do, and I'm excited about offering an additional $500 discount, because that's going to make it possible for people who are interested in this training to get it at a discount. And the way they can get that discount is they can apply right through this webpage. Once that application is approved, all they have to do is make a small down payment, and within 14 days to take advantage of the discount.
Wait, so you already have it priced at like a third or lower of the price of your competitors, and you're telling me that if people apply below, they're going to get a further $500 discount?
That's right. I'll make sure they get it.
Okay, so they would just have to fill out the application, and if it gets approved, you have to put down a down payment within 2 weeks of the approval, and it will secure the $500 off the course.
That's right.
Does that discount also qualify if they needed to do a payment plan?
Yes, it does. And those payment plans are very reasonably priced, and they're interest-free.
Wow. Okay, so I'm sure some folks are going to be interested in talking to you or talking to somebody on your team. If they want to know more information, if they're on the fence and they're thinking, yes, this is quite interesting, but I'm not sure that this is 100% for me. I want to get a little more details. I want to understand a little bit more. What should those people do?
All they have to do is contact me, because I'll be happy to answer all their questions, tell them all about the information they need. I'll tell them all about the industry. I know all about it. Always happy to talk to people.
Okay, right on. And if they want to get that $500 discount, should they still apply even if they're on the fence?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll reserve it for them.
So they'll go ahead and apply down below, And they, as part of that process, will get in contact with you and you can answer those questions. I heard you also do Wednesday night intro classes. What are these about?
I do. On Wednesdays, they can come into the class and see what an online class is like. Plus, I'm going to teach them all kinds of new things that I think they'll be really interested in as well. And at that time, I can answer all their questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of this knowledge. Again, we're going to follow this up with emails, so they should go ahead and make sure that they have us as one of their contacts, Northwest Hypnosis Institute, for receiving the 2 techniques that we shared today. I love talking about hypnosis with you. I love sharing this knowledge, and I know that it's going to continue to transform people's lives like it already has been. And I think probably the best way to end this out is not by us talking about how awesome the course is, but how about we roll some footage of what people who have already taken your course, what they have to say about their experience and how much they got out of it. What do you say?
That'd be great.
Let's say goodbye and we'll sign out. Thank you for your time, Bruce. Stoked to have a minute with you.
You bet. Thank you too.
If you will suspend disbelief for a little bit in order to try, you will immediately realize, oh my gosh, this is life-changing.
Hello, my name is Bill Sinke. I am proud to say I am a graduate of the Northwest Hypnosis Institute. I can tell you firsthand, there is no better instructor than Bruce Terrell. He prepares you for every single aspect of having a career in hypnosis. I will go on to tell you that within 72 hours of becoming certified, I was working, having paid sessions. I did 220 paid sessions in my first 11 months. So if you are interested in a career in hypnosis, this is the place to go. Feel free to check me out at bchypno.com. I would be happy to tell you more about my experiences with the Northwest Hypnosis Institute and Bruce. Have a great career.
His teaching, he was very knowledgeable, first of all, about the hypnosis field, and he was able to convey his excitement to the students, which was a good thing because a lot of teachers are not that exciting. But Bruce was exciting, innovative, humorous, which I find is a great resiliency and people love. And yet he taught in a way that you could understand. And what I like about Bruce is I can call him at any time now that I'm through with the course and get scripts from him or get his opinion on different things. So, he's really great at follow-up, which I love.
Hi, I'm Asia Troyer. I'm a certified consulting hypnotist and a recent graduate from Northwest Hypnosis Institute. And I wanted to say a few words about the excellent instruction that I received from Bruce Terrell. He's warm and funny and creates a really nice sense of community within the cohort. And I really appreciated his instruction. But furthermore, Northwest Hypnosis Institute offers ongoing coaching after certification, which I didn't see anyone else out there doing this.
Without equivocation, I would exhort and extol people to use Bruce. I don't know how anybody could compare. To have the resources, to have the knowledge, to have the access to that information. I've used coaches all my life, whether it's athletics or whether it's business. Why would I not use somebody who understands hypnosis and how it can be applied? So I would say use Bruce. Northwest Hypnosis Institute is the only place you have to stop.
So I found him really personable and interesting, and I thought, and I looked at his experience and I thought, he really knows what he's doing. And the price was very good compared to other schools, which were really astronomically high.
I've always been drawn to, and I love to continually learn and expand and add to my own practices and toolbox. new ways to help people, whether it's to empower themselves, right? Create healing space for themselves, to continually improve themselves. But the bonus is that you also get all this training that you get to use on yourself too. So it's a win-win.
One other thing that I can tell about Bruce, and I've mentioned already, is his experience. You know, this guy started doing this in the 60s, and he's just deeply humble, so generous with his time. Like, he doesn't have to do this. He's retired. He doesn't need to do this, but he finds it fun. He likes to help people. He likes to help people resolve other people's problems. Like, I still call him up sometimes and say, "Hey, Bruce, do you have a moment? Can I ask you a question around this client?" And he's always, "Sure, yeah." It's just so helpful. So I would take his class again and again, anytime. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I love that it was interactive because we were in the room with other people, and Bruce was there, of course, giving his great input because he's so informative, so funny. So it was good to interact with other people and be in rooms with them so we could practice hypnosis, which was so advantageous because you got to learn from others and going through the scripts, and then he would chime in and help us. So yeah, it was a great way to do things. It wasn't just a bunch of videos thrown at us and here, watch this. No, because that's not a good way to learn. Actually, working with a partner, working with him is an effective way because you could see and hear people and actually go through all the material. So it was really advantageous, and it was a great experience. And I was able to come on the weekends, which was really helpful for people that work all week.
It just absolutely enlightening. But it's probably the one word I'd use is personable. He is a personable person, and when you feel that in sincerity, but you also come to understand the knowledge behind that. So he is able to fluidly broach topics and answer questions and raise other ideas on how to do things better because he has that wealth of experience.
Bruce's ability to create rapport with students, to meet them where they're at, to have fun with them, to see what it is that their goals are. And he's got this unique ability to do that with everyone in the group, but then to weave it all together somehow. So they're having this fun, interactive experience, hands-on, and you could be training all day, and it doesn't matter whether it's your weekends or during the week course. People aren't exhausted. You know, oftentimes they're like, "Oh, like we have to come back tomorrow? What do you mean?" But it's invigorating, which is so fun. And so that ability of bringing everyone together, meeting them where they're at, and yet also assisting them in growing is pretty awesome.
I think it's a great company. I love Bruce. I think he's wonderful. I think he's humorous, and I think he enjoys everyone that he meets, and he's not condescending. He doesn't talk down to people, which I think is great. And, he just wants to work in a partnership with you.
I had classes, I had students from all over the world, which is really nice to have people from different cultural backgrounds, but also from different vocational backgrounds, and to see their perspective, how they could apply it in their life or their professional vocation. It just made it seem, I just saw how ubiquitous the benefits were of hypnosis across, almost all businesses and classes of people.
I'd say this course was a bargain. Like, I previously paid up to $8,000-9,000 for one-to-one coaching, and that ended up heavily relying on videos and recordings of presentations, and then some group calls. This is something I really wanted to avoid. The course that Bruce led gave me so much more one-to-one attention within the class and also after, just purely through his generosity. I only paid, I think, a quarter of the amount of, what I paid with a personal coach that meant to teach me some business skills, but I ended up in front of the computer watching videos most of the time, and then sitting on a group call where I didn't even get to talk every week. So with Bruce and this course and the course fees, it's a bargain. More so if like I can speak from my own experience. I have an established practice. I already made my money back. I've started advertising my services as a hypnotist, and within 2 months from graduating, I've earned that whole fee back. Helping people around grinding their teeth, smoking, chewing nicotine gum, sleeping, better sleeping, stress and anxiety, supporting people however I can. And it's people respond to that and are attracted to new ways of trying to fix their problems if they tried a number of things that didn't work for them. So I'm very pleased, financially as well.
Being live for me was always beneficial, but I did look at courses that were only on video. I'm used to self-study, so it did matter as much initially until I realized how beneficial it was to have classmates in which we could practice, which we could do things together. And at any time, if there was a question, Bruce was there to answer the question. So instead of spinning my wheels trying to figure it out myself, I was able to get an answer in minutes, as opposed to 2 or 3 hours of trying to dig and then hope I had the right answer.
Yeah, it's the best school I found out of all the schools, because I think, having the interaction, having Bruce's enthusiasm, having his experience, it's all in one concise course, which is really good. You don't have to go to school for a whole year. So I think people appreciate that, because we're in a fast-paced society where people are time limited.
Yeah, so the course has been designed by the NGH, National Guild of Hypnotists in the USA, and Bruce follows it and builds upon it as well. We received books to go with the course and some support materials, which I still haven't explored all of it. There's just so much, but also Bruce builds on it so skillfully. He, his 50 years experience, he also shares his own scripts that he devised 10, 20 years ago. So it's not just a dry following the course page by page. Let's turn your course book to page number 77 and read. No, he really builds upon it so that we have a deeper understanding of what it is that we are supposed to be doing and how can we really impact someone's life.
I'm a psychotherapist, so I work with people in therapy. So, we work with, so I'm a certified licensed professional counselor. So I work with people, they come to me with issues like depression, anxiety, relationship problems, parenting problems, the whole gamut, if you will. So I work with them mostly individually by Zoom, and I've done it for over 25 years. And I have to say, I just adore each and every one of them that comes to me, because I feel like they came for a purpose, and I feel like I'm here to help them in their journey with therapy. Now, I've incorporated hypnotherapy into my practice, which is a great thing, because a lot of that trauma from their past can be released, through hypnosis. So I know that they're really enjoying it, and they get a lot out of it.
And then I look at some of the self-imposed inhibitions that I put on myself, and all those things. I just feel like the fetters, the bands that are kind of holding me back, have been released, and now I can hardly wait to get out. I feel like I'm 20 years young.
The class, I think anyone could take it, even for a personal healing journey.
Bruce, you're the best. That's all I could say. So
the live interactive approach that they have at Northwest Hypnosis Institute is brilliant, because you become part of a team. You're being helped and mentored by the main instructor, right? And it gets to be about you, the student.
What attracted me to Bruce's offering was the fact that it was a live class. It wasn't some pre-recorded, off-the-shelf product that I've used in the past for NLP training, for instance. I wanted more of a instructor-led interaction. And this is what really attracted me to Bruce's offering and his class.
His enthusiasm. He has great enthusiasm.
He creates a sense of family and community with the students that's remarkable, and I've not seen that elsewhere. He makes it fun. It is hands-on learning, so you're not just listening to boring lecture. You're not just watching videos and having to sit there while some teacher is yammering on. They have fun. And it's completely interactive, and anyone can do it. That's the beautiful thing. You know, Bruce is able to meet people where they're at, make it fun, make it exciting, share things that apply to their own lives. So you're getting things for yourself along the way, right? And so win-win, as well as these awesome tools to be able to help other people with too, should people want to.
I know I could call him at any time and say, hey, Bruce, I need a hypnotherapy script for this or that. And he'll do it. He'll do it within a couple of days for me and deliver it. I find that amazing. I don't think most places will do that. I don't think they have that follow-up. And Bruce is really good at following up and helping you. And I find that like a great asset of Bruce's. I mean, kudos to him that he's just a great teacher and he really enjoys us.
Interestingly, I was less dissuaded by price or persuaded by price. I was willing to actually go someplace and do some sort of residency in order to be able to learn. But I called and talked to Bruce directly, and he said, "Well, you're welcome to call anytime." I didn't realize how busy, how accomplished he really was, but he always took my call, always was beneficial, always helpful, and I that's what I wanted. I wanted somebody that was going to provide more than just a course, some mentoring, and I got that, and I feel like I developed a friend and a mentor out of it.
What's so beautiful about it is with simple and easy repetition, we get to help pattern in this everlasting change work for them. So the ahas are fun, the realizations are fun, the liberation, like the freedom from bad habits, right? Poor self-esteem issues, not great programming, which we all have, right? I mean, childhood wasn't necessarily easy for most of us. And so to see the ahas, to see the freedom, to see the healing and the transformation, that's everything for me. I love when people shine. I love when people do well. I love when people get to contribute to their own well-being and to nurture and nourish, right? Their mind, their heart, their soul, all of it. And this is a key tool for being able to do that with people.
So Bruce is quite funny. And I actually warmed up to him quite early on because I called him up about his class before it started, some information, and I introduced myself and I asked him about his thoughts, if I could easily blend hypnosis into coaching. I was specifically interested in various NLP strategies and if I could embed NLP strategies within hypnosis. So he gave me a lot of very useful advice, which I thought was very, very generous of him. I called him twice before I signed up, and each time he was just very generous with his time, with his advice, and I thought this is the kind of guy I want to learn from. I also, in his replies, I heard a lot of experience, many years of experience, and it was another factor that really convinced me that this will be my teacher for this next stage of my coaching or my hypnotherapy journey.
Give him a call. Talk to him. He'll answer your questions. Like, see how it feels. He is the nicest guy. He has a fabulous sense of humor. He is off the charts brilliant, but he's so humble and so down to earth. And that is missing around the globe in so many ways right now. To have somebody that knows as much as this person does, and you wouldn't even guess it, right? First meeting him. But he puts you at ease right off the bat. Take some time, chat with him a little bit, or see if you can Check out an intro class, observe, see how things are going. Touch base.
I initially started coaching in 2016, and earlier this year, I've been considering my practice and what kind of clients I want to invite more of. And I thought it would be great to have some more of those clients that I used to serve initially with various degrees of, let's say, trauma or just difficult past, difficult life experiences. And in my pursuit to find new tools and techniques to help these people invite them in and serve them, I came across hypnotherapy. And now I am actively using hypnotherapy or hypnosis during my sessions. Some of my existing coaching clients have received it very, very well. And I'm absolutely loving it.
Adding hypnosis work to one's, work, right? If they're doing more physical work, this is so much easier on the body. It is so much easier on the hands, your back, your arms, right? Even just mentally and emotionally and energetically. I mean, all hands of it. It's so much more freeing. But it also gives other opportunities. So that expands one's market. Yay, right? It gives another way we can be helping people. And different modalities reach different things, right? So what's nice with the hypnosis work is you're working more on that mental, emotional, spiritual end of things, which obviously can help the physical. And there are some practices that obviously, like chiropractor, they're physically needing to manage or manipulate, maneuver, right? Bodies. That's its whole own thing too. This allows them to reach other areas and in other ways. And it's not so intense. But again, it also allows them to do other things. I like variety. Live classes, in my humble opinion, are so much better because you're actually getting the experience of doing the work. So we're not just reading something, which we can retain or not, right? And, oftentimes there's that example of like we can watch videos to learn how to do anything. But the actual practice work is what embodies it. The engaging in the work is what brings it in. We can read about it, we can watch videos all you want, but it's like learning the piano. Like that gets you so far, right? When you've got an actual hands-on training and you have a coach and a mentor that actually feels like a really great friend, guiding you through the processes step by step, it's so much easier. It is so much more seamless to integrate. And Bruce's students end up so great that sometimes they don't quite realize how awesome they are by the end of the training. I've taken other training courses, by the way, and I tell you, one of the big ones that I took, very experienced teacher, but we would be watching the clock and then be like, like nodding off. And then we'd be like, okay, how much time has passed? And it'd be like a few minutes. And so the experience is what it's really all about.